Tim, should we tell the listeners how to join the Golf Week Amateur Tour?
Yes, of course. We should probably do it now before we forget, though.
I agree. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.
And remember, this podcast can be found on all the major platforms. So make sure you like, download, and share it with all your friends and family.
Chris, that's a great idea. Now, on to the show. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Chris.
Good to be back. I know we're going to have a lot of good discussions this episode.
We're going to have some great discussions. We got two really good guests. We've got two really good guests, and Chris has started a new side hustle of being a caddy. We'll talk about that as well. HB, I'm sorry you were the guinea pig on this one, but I'm sure he'll get better.
We'll discuss that later. Let's get on with the show.
All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Golf Week Amateur Tour, the podcast. We are your hosts, Tim Newman and Chris Rocha. As the oldest and largest amateur golf tour in the country, we put on individual stroke play golf tournaments that are handicapped by flights in 48 markets across the country. The Golf Week Amateur Tour, where amateurs play like pros. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to especially you, Chris. You had a great tournament again, and you're moving right on up, and you're going to be in the A flight here in the next month or two.
Yeah, I don't know what's clicking, but something sure is, and can't really complain. I've been playing some good golf, love it. Glad to be back running tournaments, and we'll see what the future holds.
To me, for you, it doesn't really matter what's clicking as long as it keeps on going. And when you went out to just before your tournament in Dallas, you said you weren't putting very well, but then you went 82, and you went 79 on last tournament.
Yep. Just did a little tweak, a little change, and it's been working. So kind of happy with it.
Well, that's good. And we'll talk about your round with HB at the end of the show, because I got some questions for you about that. But we'll see how it goes. But anyway, we talked to Dennis McCormick a couple episodes ago, and that's when he announced the housing options for national championship coming open, and we're 2 months away.
It got here quicker than we expected.
Yeah, very, very, very quickly. So in less than 2 months, the island's going to be flooded with 1,000+ golfers, taking over courses all over Hilton Head and hotels as well. But we have a new partner that I really wanted to highlight. Chris, we talked a little bit about it. When Dennis was on as well. They're called the Beach House, and they've renovated the property. There's a lot of good things going on there, and so we've got the general manager to actually come on and talk to us about it. Please welcome Jay Wiendl from the Beach House. Jay, welcome, bud.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Chris. Excited to be here.
No problem. Welcome.
So, Jay, why don't you give us a little bit of background on the Beach House and what you all have done to the property, over the last year or so?
Sure, absolutely. So, well, first and foremost, we're excited to welcome players from the national championship and their families. And, I've had the opportunity to work with Dennis McCormick over the years, his former properties as well. So, certainly excited to get him and his and your players back here to the hotel. Beach House is it's iconic to Hilton Head Island. We've got Tiki Hut here. We've got live music every day. We've recently renovated our guest room corridors. Our guest rooms were actually renovated. just a couple of years ago. And we've got more exciting things coming in the future for with a new pool and expanding the Tiki Hut and such. So it's just a great spot. It's we say toes in the sand. I mean, literally, you step off our Tiki Hut and you're on our private beach overlooking Coligny, and it's just a great place for families and for to relax and enjoy and get out there and enjoy all Hilton Head has to offer.
Yeah, and Chris, I don't know if you've ever been down that way, but the Tiki Hut is known across the island as one of the best places to go. I mean, like Jay said, there's live music all the time. It's literally right on the beach. It's what you see in movies, like tiki bars. That it's right here, right outside the hotel, right on the beach. It's a great place to go, listen to music, have fun, have a few drinks, and just kind of kick back.
Nice.
For sure. And then there's more to offer, Tim, too. I mean, our location is just, it's unmatched. I mean, we're basically in the heart of Hilton Head Island. We've got Coligny right across the street. So shopping and multiple restaurants. We have our porch restaurant here on property. Celebration Park is right across the street. So great activities and opportunities for kids. And seems like there's a festival or something going on every week over there. Tuesday nights, I believe right now is jazz at the park. So they're celebrating that over there. It's just, it's a great location. Once you pull into the hotel, you don't have to get into your car again unless you're heading to a golf course to compete in a national championship.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was just about to ask where you guys were located on the island. Funny thing is, Tim, I've been going, this will be my 5th year going. I don't think I've stepped one foot on the beach because we're so busy. But, to be able to just walk onto the beach, it's a great location for our golfers to bring their significant others to have something to do while they're trying to compete for a national championship.
Yeah, and being down in Coligny, like Jay says, you don't have to, you park your car, you don't have to go anywhere. Again, unless you're playing golf and you need to get in your car to go to the course, but you could rent bikes down there and literally the bike trails around the island. Somebody told me this a few weeks ago, how many miles are, it's incredible how much bike path there is, all over the island. And you can literally go, you can see the whole island on your bike. So you don't have to get in your car unless you want to take your clubs around, but your families can rent bikes and ride all over the place. Jay said there's a park there. And Jay, I don't know if you know this, but there's a big festival coming in September as well. And I forget what it was. My wife told me about it this morning. It's the 360-40 something.
Yeah, the 360-40 celebration. Actually, there's a singer-songwriter festival is basically part of that celebration. And I think it's called Island Jam. It actually kicks off here at our Tiki Hut on the Thursday. I think that's the 14th, I believe. It's the 14th, 15th, 16th, and then I think it's done on the 17th. So we'll actually have 3 sessions on Thursday night. We'll put a stage on our beach. We'll have 3 different groups of 3 singer-songwriters that will get up there and just jam, and they'll kind of banter back and forth. It's going to be super fun. There's a big act for closing at the park right across the street on that Saturday. So it's an inaugural year for the Singer-Songwriter Fest, and it's been brought to us by BMI. So it's pretty exciting. If if you've heard of the Singer-Song Fest down in Key West, that's promoted by BMI. So we're hoping this really continues to grow. It should be a lot of fun, Tim.
Well, that's great. Jay, I didn't know it was kicking off right there at the Tiki. And again, Chris, that's how phenomenal this place is. And, I saw the list of, who the big act is, which is somebody that I like a lot. But anyway, it's going to draw a lot of people. And again, start right here at the Tiki Hut, at the beach house. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the good news is our bands stop at 10 o'clock. We certainly have rooms that we can put our players in, because I know they got to get up early. They got to get their rest, that keep them away from any of the music. But then for those that want that right at the backstage. I've got oceanfront rooms that put them right on top of the band. And I have people that return every year that just love those specific rooms. Matter of fact, they get upset if they don't get their specific row.
Their room, exactly. Well, that's awesome.
I'm looking on, our national website. It's a pretty good deal, actually. From what it says here, $189 for deluxe 2 queen guest room. It looks like it has a bunch of different amenities, things like that. So if you're looking at going, and you want to bunk with somebody, that's definitely a great deal to take a look at.
Yeah, and as I said in that episode with Dennis, if this is where I would stay, if you're not getting a house with your buddies, this is the place to be, because again, you're right there where everything's happening. When you're done golf, you come back, park your car, again, restaurants, tiki hut, swimming pool, beach, shopping, whatever it is that you want to do, it's all right there.
No, we were excited to get Dennis over here to see the hotel. I think, the hotel became an independent about a year and a half ago. And we actually got new owners and, that are really ready to invest some major dollars into the property, even greater than what it is today. We actually just won a nice award. I haven't paid for the advertising yet, so I can't mention the name, but let's just say it's a big travel magazine. But we were the number one beachfront hotel on Hilton Head, and we had some really strong competition with that. 2 others actually placed, and that was actually best resorts of the South, in that category. So pretty amazing stuff. So what we have today, we still take great care of our guests. So I point that out to you.
And Jay, I can attest to that. I was at the hospitality event that you all did at the Heritage, and Chris, I sent you some pictures. When I talk about top notch, it was phenomenal. It was great time. They took great care of us. The food was great. The beer was cold. It was great, Jay. It was a great time, and again, I appreciate you having us.
Yeah, no, it was great to have you up there, and we'll don't tell anybody, Tim, but we'll do it again this year.
That sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Jay, what else can you tell us about the property? I know you've got some great offers out there. Not necessarily for national championship, but
yeah, I'll tell you. We're always running promotions. I mean, right now I've got one going called Pick Your Freebie, and we give you 4 choices. You pay the best available rate, and you pick one of 4 options to just add on. Could be a room upgrade. It could be a $25 food and beverage credit, or we'll waive the resort fee. You just pick one. We've got another promotion going on, back to school. We have this iconic lunchbox that we serve our food in at Tiki Hut. People actually take them home, and we see them on eBay for sale all the time. But so now we're gonna give with that room rate, we'll give them a Tiki lunchbox. And it's old school, right? It takes you right back to when you were a kid, waiting for the school bus, holding on to your metal lunchbox. But, it's branded Tiki. And, we've always got something going on here, and, there's always a great deal out there. AAA, we're friends with, it's, our value at the hotel, I think is one of the best, around. And, we're smaller, 200 rooms. So it feels cozy, and, it's just a great spot. And I've worked and lived on Hilton Head for 11 years, and I'm really excited to be here at the hotel and the beach house. And, it's just a lot of great opportunity. And again, like I said, I wish national championship good luck.
But Jay, thank you so much for spending some time with us. And I'm sure that you're going to get a rush of reservations if you haven't already. Hopefully they'll be coming, in the next couple of weeks. And I appreciate all you do for us, and look forward to this partnership as we move forward.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me, Chris. And Chris, good luck in the tournament. And Tim, we'll see you soon.
Sounds good, bud.
All right.
Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. So, Chris, it was great talking with Jay. With the renovations that they've done at the beach house, and some of the events that they've got coming up, especially we talked about the music festival that's coming there in September. And then our national championship, being one of our host hotels for national championship, anybody who say is really going to have a good time. Again, remember, it's down in Coligny. You don't have to go anywhere except for to the course. I mean, you can walk to restaurants. They've got live music every night. There's shopping. There's a park for the kids. There's a beach. It's got pretty much everything that you would want. Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
A great iron set needs more than good looks. It's got to be fast and got to be pure. But good looks never hurt either. The all-new ZX Mark II irons from Srixon.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. Probably going to be the place that I'm going to stay at this year. But I mean, it just, a walk to the beach is always nice, especially if you're taking your families. So, get register or get a reservation as quickly as possible, because if they sell out, then now you're looking at other options that aren't going to be as price pleasing as you would hope for.
Not as price pleasing or as much fun. So have you made your reservation yet?
I have not yet. Will soon. Just trying to finalize to see who's actually going from the tour and if we're going to do a house or not. So, those kind of things have to be planned out first. But if there's not enough, then I'll definitely recommend this to start with.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to go ahead and make a reservation, you can find all the information, on the National Championship website. You're not going to beat this. It's $189 a night. They're waiving the $25 a night resort fee. And so you're not going to be able to find a place on the island, a hotel on the island for that, especially, for the location and the other amenities that you're going to be able to get.
Yeah, that saves, if you're looking at a week, almost $200, it'll save.
Exactly. So let's talk about our next guest. This guy is, to say he's a legend on the tour would be an understatement. He's won the tour championship 6 times. He just played in an event, a North Carolina State event. We'll talk about that with him. Tied for second with his partner was Jim Autry, who's also a Golf Week national champion. So let's welcome Joe Jaspers from the Charlotte Tour. Joe, welcome, bud.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for taking your time. I know you're busy. You've got a lot going on, and one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to you is, you just qualified for the U.S. Senior Amateur, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. I'm really excited. Looking forward to it. They've got a great venue lined up for us out in Lake Tahoe.
I can think of a lot worse places to go, for a week at the end of August. But we'll get to that in just a second. I do want to talk about your event this past week. You played in the North Carolina State 4-ball, tied for second with Jim Autry, and so you played 3 rounds. And as I was looking at your scores, you shot 14 under for 3 days, 68, 68, 66. And, you're only 3 shots off the lead. And the team that won, they've also won the 4-ball that's done in Myrtle Beach, I think once or twice as well, is what Dennis had told me. So, Golf Week was really represented well this past week in North Carolina.
Yeah, there are a lot of good, senior level players that show up there from all across, the state of North Carolina. So it's some tough competition.
And, I mentioned to you offline here about some of your statistics. And for those of you that don't know, Joe's pretty good. He's not only has he won the national champion, Golf Week national championship 6 times, he's qualified for a number of USGA events. And, when I pull up your stats, Joe, I mentioned to you, over 19 rounds just this year, you're only +3 over 19 competitive rounds. But I'm +3 on one hole. So, it's just incredible. And that's kind of what we're talking about. In Golf Week, we've got, people like Joe, people like HB, people like Jim Autry, and then all the way up to, and I'm going to call out my buddy, the Master Chief, who shoots, 120, 125, every time he comes out. But But so there's a place for everybody. But Joe, really with you've been doing this for so long. How long have you been a member of the tour?
Oh boy, I think it's probably been at least 25 years, somewhere in there. Yeah, it's the late 90s when I started playing. Wow. And there were really good players, back then as well. It's not that they've just shown up recently. You get out there in the Golf Week Tour, you better be ready to go because there's some sharks out there in Champ Flight.
Yeah, and Charlotte comes. I mean, the Charlotte Tour has, historically one of the strongest champ flights in the nation. I mean, you've always got somebody from Charlotte coming out who's strong, who's on top of the leaderboard at national championship. Whether it's you, whether it's Jim, whether it's Jay Barnes, whether it's we can go right on down the list. Of the strong champ flight players.
I think that's what makes the tour a lot of fun, and what makes it great is that it's a high level of competition, and it prepares you well for the state events or USGA events. It keeps you sharp, when you go to play in those things. But it's a lot of fun. A lot of good guys, a lot of good friendships over the years. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
So let's talk about your qualifying round on August 2nd at High Point Country Club. You shot 69. You tied for first, so you were safe all the way in. Tell me about that round.
It was one of the more solid rounds I'd played this year. It pretty consistent. It was, it wasn't overly eventful in terms of I started out pretty quick. I birdied chipped in on the first hole for birdie and missed a couple of good birdie opportunities the next 3 holes, and then, kind of just went along for a while. The part of the course around 12, 13, 14 is where I struggled a little bit, but my short game really, stepped up, and I was able to make some good par saves to keep their momentum going.
Yeah, so it looks like you par 12, birdie 13, and bogeyed 14. So you're 2 under
Mm-hmm.
on the front, 1 under on the back, for that 69 3 under.
Yeah, I had a few. Was it 12 I bogeyed? I think, yeah. No, I parred 12. Yeah, but 12. Yeah, 12. I made a good par save. I hit my tee shot in the water, took a drop and knocked it up about 12, 15 feet and made a par save there. So that was crucial there. And then, hit 3 good shots on the next hole, made birdie, and then 14 made kind of a strategic error off the tee. I didn't really pick the right line. Hit it in the left bunker there, and I still had about a 5-footer for par and missed that. But that was really the only place in the round. That little stretch right there was about the only area that I, struggled a little bit.
So you just mentioned you made a strategic error. In terms of course management, is that something that you think that, is something that the mid to high handicappers should probably do a better job of, instead of, just trying to, aim at flags and hit driver and those types of things all the time?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it keeps you from making a big number. I tell people, if you can get to the 150 post, you can play from there, but you got to be in the fairway. And there are certain holes, and I think playing down at Hilton Head all these years in the national championship really taught me to think strategically and play from point to point, because you can't just go out there and just rip it and hit it anywhere, or you'll be in a world of hurt. So it kind of teaches you to be patient and, hit a 3-wood instead of a driver. I think, up there at Highland Creek, the way the setup was, I hit my driver twice all day. That's it.
Wow.
Because my 3-wood would put me in position. So, why bring all the trouble into play? There's no reason to. I'm just saying it's probably kind of boring golf sometimes, but it, when it comes out to counting strokes and trying to score, that's the name of the game.
I'll take boring golf all day long if I can, shoot even par 3 under every time.
Yeah, I completely agree. I try to do the same thing. I like how you mentioned the 150 posts, because I wish every course had those. It makes it a lot easier to know, if you have a strong club 150 in, you're into the center of the green, you're putting for birdie at least. So that's a great advice to give.
Yeah, my dad, when I was young, he gave me some good advice. He said, Joe, just, swing easy and just aim for the middle of the green. You'll do, from there it's easy. I didn't listen probably for another 20 or 30 years.
Swing easy. So
it stuck with me.
So, and Joe, I'm glad you brought that up, the swing easy, because I've seen you play, I've seen you swing, and it's effortless. And I compare that to me. I'm gripping the club so freaking tight, and I'm swinging so hard, and the ball doesn't go anywhere. And I mean, your swing is almost effortless, and it's just amazing to watch you swing and watch the ball come off your club. And anybody that's really good, it's to be able to watch that as opposed to some of the things that a lot of us really bad amateurs do.
Well, it sounds like you swing the golf club like I play racquetball. Hit as hard as I can and run around like a chick with my head cut off.
That's what you do, right, I guess.
Yeah, but no, I mean it's really about. I mean, everybody's got a different tempo and how they swing the club. Some are faster, slower. I mean, you gotta find your own. Even if you watch the pros, every swing is unique. They don't all look like Adam Scott. He's actually the abnormal one, out of the group. But it's just finding your tempo and trying to stick with it, and that helps you repeat the swing.
So you've got the U.S. Senior Amateur in 2 weeks. What's your plan, or what's your schedule like? Again, you're 2 weeks out. Between now and when you get there, what's your general preparation like?
Well, I'm going to head out there. There's a practice round Thursday and Friday. The tournament starts Saturday. The stroke play part Saturday and Sunday. So I'll get out there late Wednesday, and then probably Thursday afternoon play a practice round, and then I think probably Friday morning get a second practice round in. And really, when I go to the practice round, I'm not really concerned about how well I hit it. I don't even keep score. It's just trying to figure out where your misses are and where you can be aggressive.
So for this, do you have a caddy, or is it just you?
I don't know that I have a caddy. The nice thing about senior golf is you get to use golf carts.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to walk, and frankly, to walk as you go through it, it can be up to a week of golf. Walking every day, I'm not sure my body would hold up, my knees especially. So so I'm right now, I don't have a caddy. I don't know that I'll get a caddy unless I discover there's some things about the course makeup that I would, get one while I'm out there. But I think one of the challenges for us is going to be the elevation. Right. Because I think the elevation is very similar to like Denver, Colorado.
Yep. So
the ball will carry a little further. So that's probably going to take a little bit to get used to.
It's easy to get used to. Trust me.
Is it? Okay. Well, as long as you can hit it further, I guess that makes it easier.
I lose so much yardage going from El Paso to Hilton Head, sea level. I can take 6 clubs total on the putter and be okay. But out here, I'm hitting irons into greens, and it's nice to have that iron feeling instead of a hybrid going in. So I think you'll enjoy the elevation a lot better.
Yeah. As long as I don't get distracted by all the great views, all the scenery.
That's the tough part.
Yeah.
Well, looking at the pictures, I mean, it's beautiful.
So it looks awesome.
It really
looks
does.
awesome.
It really does.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, I qualified. We went to Detroit. So that was actually the facility and everything there was great as well, but not the same views as you'll get out at Lake Tahoe, I guess.
Not many people, or not many places are going to have those types of wonderful views. How many other USGA events have you qualified for? Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
ZX Mark II drivers are for major players, major winners, major power. All new ZX Mark II drivers, only from Srixon.
This is the 6th one. The one my good friend Jim Autry and I qualified for the USGA 4 ball in the COVID year. So that one actually got scrapped. So we qualified. So I counted as part of the 6, but we unfortunately didn't get to play. So it's been 3 mid-AMs, 2 senior AMs and then the USGA 4-ball.
That's amazing. I don't know. Do you know Don Miller, who plays out of the Upstate Tour? Yeah, he qualified as an alternate for this year too. Yeah,
fantastic. Fantastic.
As I was, preparing for this, I just kind of went through the USGA has a list of all the places and all the qualifiers and all the alternates. And I saw his name. He actually played up in New York. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
It kind of threw me off for a little bit, but yeah. So we're doing pretty good.
I tell you, so I tell people, I said, sometimes I think it's harder to get in, through the qualifiers than once you actually get there. I mean, all the players are good when you get there, but, you basically got to be in the top. We had 4 spots, which was one more than usual up here where I was at. But usually it's only a couple, and, it's kind of a pass fail. You win or lose, win or lose. You either got to win the tournament or you're out.
That's what was for Don. They had 1 winner and 2 alternates.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's a tough. That's a tough road to hoe there. It's just an 18-hole shootout. You got to be medalist. That's wow.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go out there and play, what's your mentality in terms of, because like you said, you've got the stroke play, and then you get after that it's match play. What's your mentality during, the first 2 rounds?
The first 2 rounds is really, a lot of pars will get you through to the match play. So you don't have to shoot a super low score. If you got a day and things are going your way, you'll, just keep pushing as far as you can. But, the big thing, I think the first 2 days is stay away from the big numbers. If you can stay away from double bogeys and, worse, then I think, you'll play well enough to get through to the stroke or the match play. So, the first 2 days, it's not that you don't win it the first 2 days. You just got to get into match play, and then anything can happen.
Do you like playing match play?
It's really different because the only time I've played match play really is, during the mid-AMs and obviously the senior AM. But it is a different animal. And you've got to, and in match play, you've got to go out and just, be aggressive. You can't, you can try to make pars all day long, but eventually it's going to come back to bite you because there's just so many good players. And, I don't care if you're 2 or 3 up on somebody with, 9 holes to play. It can evaporate really quick because it's really a momentum. It's momentum back and forth when you're going match play head to head. So, but it's fun.
And I just got to figure a player like you could really frustrate other players because, you're so consistent in your swing and where you put the ball. It's pretty much always going right where you want it to go, and you're always getting a good score. I just kind of see you kind of getting in, your opponent's head from that perspective.
Well, yeah, I think the thing is, you don't want to give anybody a hole. So, you want to make them have to make birdies to beat you. And the amazing thing is you get up at higher and higher levels, you can think, a guy hits a shot and he's in terrible shape and, you cannot let your guard down till that hole's done because all these guys, when you get there, their short games are really good. So, they may look like they're in jail to the short-sided. Look at Jeff Wong, he hits a shot, think he's in trouble. All of a sudden, hey, good par.
Yeah. So Joe, I tell a story, pretty often, I guess it was probably 10 years ago. I was on a sabbatical for my job and I went out to Phoenix to do some work. And I got a membership at a club, and every Sunday they did a skins game for all the mini tour players. And I got in the skins game, not knowing I'm not going to make any money, but I just wanted to be able to play with them and watch them. And these guys could hit the ball a ton. Just blowing the ball. Over top the green. But they couldn't chip and putt. And they would talk, well, I got to go to the range. My swing's bad. Like, no, guys, you got to go over to the chipping area. You got to go learn how to putt. And you're right. The good players can chip and putt.
Yeah, it's because you don't give strokes back. I mean, you're not, you make a birdie or 2 birdies if you don't have a lot of birdies in a day. If you're not making a lot of bogeys, you're not giving strokes back. And and a lot of it too is just being strategic about making sure you don't miss it in certain places,
right.
If you pay attention where the pin is, and if they tell you don't get above the hole, don't get above the hole. It's not rocket science, but you take one less club and play to the front edge instead of trying to hit to the flag.
You hear that, Chris?
Oh yeah, I'm taking notes.
So Joe, Chris is getting a lot better. So he's been from C flight at the end of last year, and now he's right on the cusp of going to the A flight. He's playing really well. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big move.
Yeah, we moved into a house where I converted the garage to a hitting area. Just a net and a mat, and get in there at least half an hour a day. Just kind of work on a technique here or there, work on chipping. And now I'm seeing it paid off. So it's been a big jump. Can't wait to see what happens. But no, I completely agree with what you're saying. I've kind of tried to look at the course differently and see what I can do as far as just getting onto the green and not having to worry about chipping as much as I don't need to, if I can just get on there in the center of the green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's, your example, in your situation is what I think makes the Golf Week Tour so awesome. To see guys over the years progress from, C to B to A and then go to champ flight. It's really fun to watch. It's amazing and being in that competitive environment, people go out and work at it, and I think that's one of the cool aspects of the Golf Week Tour.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I've been on tour, I want to say almost 9-10 years, director for my 5th season. So I've seen the changes, and being a director, you get to see a bunch of other people, meet a bunch of people like HB Kim, but even some friends that have joined and have gotten way better. So it's like you said, it's a great place, if you want to take it serious to get better and meet a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe, do you have any advice for the rest of the tour who's not the elite golfer like you on what they should be doing better to get better?
I think more than anything, it's just practice. I don't get to play, I don't play 3 or 4 days a week typically. But my goal is to get to the range twice a week. And when I get home, there's up the road's a golf course. And if I stop by and just go putt for 15, 20 minutes, and I can do that. If I can't hit balls, if I can do that 2 or 3 days a week, over time, it's amazing how much more consistent you get, putting, that kind of thing, or even short game.
I think some people, their mind just probably exploded here that you don't really play that much and you only go to the range twice a week.
Well, I work like everybody else, so I wish I could get out there. This week playing in the 4-ball, I played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's not normal, a normal occurrence, unfortunately. But yeah, so it's this week. Yeah, typically this week, next week, I'll probably play a couple times, but I'll just spend some time practicing a little bit, and then that's where. And the practice is where you dig out that's where you finally, you just got to go practice. And sometimes, I'll putt for 15, 20 minutes and hit it terrible until I finally kind of figure it out. And it's just going through that process. You got to dig through and chip off all the garbage, and you finally find the thing that you can do consistently. But sometimes you just got to do it 2 or 3 days a week for 15, 20 minutes.
Like Chris is in his garage.
Exactly. That's how you go from C to B to A.
Yeah, it's in the clicks. So just everyone be aware.
Well, make sure you practice your putting too, Chris.
That's my Achilles heel right there.
Right now?
Yeah.
Let's get a long putter. It's working for the pros.
Well, Joe, thanks so much for taking some time with us, and we wish you the best of luck here in a couple weeks, and we'll be watching.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it. I'll try to make that Golf Week group proud.
You always do.
Yes, you already have, sir. You already have. Don't even worry about it.
Take care.
Thanks.
Tim, I've heard all the stories of Joe Jasper, national champion winner, great golfer. I never realized how great of a golfer he is until we had that conversation. And he just seems like a very humble guy, willing to just talk to anybody about golf. And we wish him the best of luck in his tournament up there. We will be watching, and it's such a great interview, just such a great conversation to have, and good tips that I've personally taken into my golf game and seen it flourish. So hopefully, our listeners take that advice and use it for themselves as well.
Yeah, as good of a golfer as Joe is, he's at twice that as good of a person. Nice, down to earth, easy to talk to, easy to get along with everybody. Couldn't ask for a better representative for the tour than Joe. And he did give some great advice. And if you ever watch him play, and I've seen him play a lot, here or there, his swing is so smooth. He's really Mr. Consistent. And when he talks about the course management, I think that's one of his big strengths of his game. He knows where he wants to put the ball, and he puts it there. It's really that simple.
Yeah, at that level, you need to be that disciplined to be able to do that, and not just try to get as close as you can. Find a distance that works for you, and being able to create these shots. I got to see that a lot this past week with HB, and just getting in to watch other A and Champ Flight players that I have on my tour. They make it look so effortless, but it takes a lot of practice and thinking on the course to be able to get that goal accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, Joe qualified as for the U.S. Senior Am. We also had another tour member qualify as an alternate, and that's Don Miller out of the Upstate Tour. So congratulations to him. Not sure if he's actually going to get in yet, but he qualified as a second alternate. Yes, we've done from a tour perspective. We've done really well this year with Brian qualifying for the for the U.S. Senior Open, and now with Joe and Don. So we have some really good representatives of the tour.
Yes, I mean we've seen that in the last month or so of members qualifying for different things or attempting to qualify. So it's good to see that we have a good showing out there, and maybe it'll help get our names out there. But most importantly, we wish the best of luck for all of them that are qualifying for these big events.
Yeah, we could have had a fourth a couple weeks ago. Here we go. And HB, God bless you, bud. I mean, I know you've got a big heart. You're nice and all, but I'm not sure how this round actually went. Yeah, as I look at the scorecard, I'm not sure if Chris was giving you the right clubs, giving you the right distances, reading putts for you or whatever, but you were 5 over through the first 3 holes.
Hold on. Let's start with this. We started in the back 9. Okay, so we were even par through 5, 2 birdies, 2 bogeys. Ended the front 9 2 under. Okay, and then that's when
he got mad at you.
We got in some trouble. No, we got in some trouble off the tee, off one. So we played Midland Country Club, and if anyone's ever been to Midland, Texas, it's flat. So there's nothing to block the wind. So if you get in an area where there is a bunch of wind, you need to control the ball very well. And on hole 1, he flew a bunker that should have stopped the ball from going to the desert. Luckily, I found it. Got in a little trouble. Didn't have such a great hole. 2, I think we missed a putt. Just a mental error. And then 3, the wind caught the ball again. It's a par 3, and it went into this little pond that I wish was empty, right next to the green. So those 3 holes, they were a little struggle, but we got back on the tracks and finished strong, which is what was nice. One thing I learned, and if HB, if he would love to have me back, I definitely would do it in a heartbeat. But one thing I learned is this event, with the way the Texas heat we've been having lately, they allowed caddies to ride golf carts to take the clubs to each ball, and only the caddies could ride. So we did it so we can take extra water, this and that. But I think that took away from the element of us being able to talk on the way up to the ball. And I think that could have hurt us a little bit, but he was +3 and to qualify, you need to be -1. So there's only 4 shots off. I'll take that as a plus.
Yeah, that's where I was going to get to. I mean, so you're +5 for 3 holes, +5
Correct.
for 3 holes, and you finished +3.
+3.
So
Yeah.
again,
I mean, he has
obviously
6
he's a good
birdies
golfer
out there.
Yeah. Yes. Is that what it was? 6?
Yeah, 6 birdies.
Yeah, 6 birdies.
So I mean, there was some mental lapses we had. Yeah, on the drive home, it's a 4-hour drive, so plenty of time to think about what happened. I think one hole he tapped his ball on accident on putting, took a penalty stroke there when we could have just kind of seen if maybe it was an incidental contact and just placed the ball back. But at that point, that was right after the double, and I think we just had that mental lapse. So things that this is the second time I've done this for him. Again, I would do it again in a heartbeat for anybody on my tour that needed a caddy. At some point, these guys are so good that there's only so much you can say. You're really there to just confirm shots if they have any questions, get the yardage for them, so they're not, they have so much on their mind already. Right. To relieve 2, 3, 4 different things off of them is good. But it's also it's a partnership that me and him can also build together, and I don't see him missing that many cuts in the near future. And who knows what the future holds for him. I know he's gonna do great things.
But I know he's a good player, and he's gonna do great. My question is he gonna ask you back?
That I haven't asked yet. We've just played here and there. The next qualifier that I know he's gonna do if he goes out there and play, as we get closer, I'll ask him. We'll see what happens. I know there's a handful of guys that are, chopping at the bit to caddy for him. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be a drawn out of a hat type thing.
But he did qualify for the Texas Am, though, didn't he? Is that what you said?
He did, and luckily that event is at the same course that we just played. So, let me backtrack real quick. He went +3, right, with no practice round. That was the first time he saw the course, because the course closes on Monday and the qualifier was on Tuesday.
Wow.
So, now that he's seen the course and kind of knows what can happen, I don't think he's gonna have a problem at the Texas Am. So at least we qualify for something there.
and he obviously, I'm giving you a hard time, but we know he's a good player.
Yeah, he's a great player.
There's no doubt about that. So again, HB, we wish you the best. Just make better life choices when picking your caddy, please.
Thanks, bud.
I do what I can. So
I'm glad you got a kick out of it while I was driving home in silence for a good 2 hours out of the 4.
Wow,
and we drove separate cars too.
That's probably a good thing. Yeah, I'm Chris. I'm just messing with you. The very first thing I saw, when I saw when you pull up the site, you see his final score, and you don't really know what that looks like until you pull up the hole by hole.
Right.
And to me, you shouldn't tell anybody you started on the back. Tell them you started off on the front. You started 5 over and you recovered to finish 3 over, which is really pretty strong.
I can see that too, but
that's what I was thinking.
What was the caddy doing for?
And that's what I was thinking. Wow, he started 5 over, double, bogey, double, 5 over, and then
right.
Actually, he's 6 over at one point, right? If you look at it from the front, if you start on hole 1.
Yep.
So you're 6 over, 5 over, 6 over again. So you've and then to really only to finish at 3 over, that's a really good recovery, and that's a sign of a good.
Right. He can get back on the tracks, and
right.
I mean, we finished on a birdie. I think it would end up being like a 3-foot tap in birdie, which was great because I only had to pull the flag for a little while and then put it back in. So that was great for me.
In the cart.
Yeah. Let's get out of here. Let's run. No, I have a great time doing it, and I would do it for anybody that asks. So, if it's not HB, if anybody's out there listening and they need a caddy, hit me up. We give my email out there. We'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll put the email out. No. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you're home for a little bit. We've got a tournament at Atlanta's got a tournament at a place called Chimney Oaks, and let me just tell you about this place here. We've been coming here for a few years, and it's kind of grown. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but we've got they've got suites, so you can stay on property. You don't have to you don't have to drive anywhere. It's got a bar, it's got a restaurant. Where we're stage out of, it's another little separate or private bar restaurant area with 2 simulators in it. The course is phenomenal. So this is a really good. It's a really good venue. It's it's becoming one of my favorites here in Atlanta. So if anybody is ever interested in coming down and playing with us, this is a tournament that you should probably target for next year.
Yeah, I've already been getting a list ready to go on events to go to. So I'll have to put that one on there. Maybe it'll be just a me and the wife trip, a weekend trip, kind of get her out of the heat of El Paso.
Well, I'm not sure that the heat of Atlanta would be much better.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised.
I'm sorry. Just stay inside. Well, enjoy your weekend off. If anybody has, we're going to talk to Roger next time. And, I sent him an article that I saw about a rule that I have. It made my head hurt just trying to read and trying to figure it out. I don't know if you got a chance to read that yet, but I couldn't make heads or tails of what he was doing or trying to do, or what the ruling is. So hopefully Roger can fill us in on that one. I'm looking forward to that next week.
Yeah, it'll be a good rules to look at. I mean, if anybody has actually heard his episodes and have used his rules to your advantage or has helped you in the situation, let us know as well. We like to hear those success stories, so we know what if it's working or not. Because our goal with him is to enlighten everybody on the rules, and some rules that he's mentioned that I didn't even know about, marking the ball for an opponent to kind of help with pace of play. I didn't know we were able to do that, but I know it's helped now. And remembering that you have to place that ball back, which was brilliant in itself.
Right. Yeah. So if you have any questions for us, or even if you want us to highlight a person, another golfer, a rule, whatever that is, but please shoot us an email, and you can email me at TimNATC@amateurgolftour.net and Chris at
elpaso@amateurgolftour.net.
Well, bud, hope you enjoy your weekend off. Stay inside, stay cool, have fun with the kids, and
yes, sir.
We'll talk to you soon.
You have a good time out. You have a good time out there as well. Let me know how it goes.
Will do, bud. Talk to you later.
All right, talk to you later.
Chris, we didn't do it again.
What didn't we do?
We didn't say how to join the tour.
That's right. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tours membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.